here. Thanks for tuning into the Tom and Joe Auto Show, starring Tom Tharp, myself, 9-volt battery tester, and Joe Bucci, Gold Club member. They're going to talk your socks off about everything cool in the automotive world. Welcome, Tom and Joe.
Hey everybody, welcome. Episode number 9 here. Recording with Tom live from Knoxville, Tennessee. How's it going, Tom?
Yeah. Hey, going good tonight. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm all fired up on my second cup of coffee. I'm ready to go.
I have had 0 cups of coffee. I am not ready to go.
Oh, no.
No, I have a natural energy here. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. So,
all right, good.
So up top, you probably, folks, you heard me, actually, giving our titles. And Joe, a Gold Club member.
Yeah, a very exclusive title of mine.
Well, la-di-da, Joe,
Yeah.
huh? Look at Joe over here.
Right. I got like a gold jacket, some gold shoes.
Gold Club member.
Yep.
So what does that buy you these days? I mean, you just walk into a place and, hey, Gold
Yeah,
Club.
it's like VIP status, you know?
Hey, Gold Club.
Very important person.
Oh, I like it. I wish I could be a Gold Club member, but I'm a 9-volt battery tester. Now,
Yeah, which is also a very exclusive thing to be.
Well, 9-volt batteries, they're just the forgotten batteries of the world. They're the only place they live nowadays are in your smoke detector.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep.
I remember the 9-volt battery. I had that little handheld football game. You know, we got the Super Bowl coming up, or past, actually. This is coming out. The Super Bowl's over. Wow, it's so weird because we're recording
it's going to be
Thursday.
Yeah, it's true.
It happened. But I had that little handheld football game. That
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, and I love that. Wore it out, my brothers and I. And it ran on a 9-volt. But anyway, so with testing the 9 volts, you know the classic technique. Boom, right on the tongue.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
Yep. And your tongue becomes trained enough to where you know a good versus a sort of mediocre battery, you know, by the zap you get. Yep.
Oh,
I'll stick 4, 5, 6 on there at once.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm good at this. So welcome everybody. Thank you for listening. We've got an action-packed show here. As always, we got some cool topics lined up for you. But first off, I just want to talk a little bit about my Miata, Joe.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this. I've been waiting.
So the weird thing is, folks, just to give you a little inside baseball here, we're recording this on Thursday evening, and I don't actually post the video until tomorrow, Friday. So
right, yeah.
But by the time this goes out, you've all seen it already, or some of you have. Maybe if you haven't, you can go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. But so this is episode 1 of Thunderbolt, the LS3 V8 Miata build.
LS3 V8.
Project Thunderbolt. I know it's not a DSM. It's not 4G63 powered. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry to let you down on that.
Oh, it's all right, man. I'm excited about this.
Now, Joe got the inside scoop. You know, he was here, not too long ago, and got to see some pretty cool stuff. Joe got, I let him in there, let him behind the curtain, and checked out all the goodies and saw some. Oh,
yeah. I had to keep it quiet. It was so hard.
I know. Well, you know what? I got to be honest. I started this whole process, the process of planning. I mean, I try to judge. This is a big car build. It's the biggest thing I've ever taken on. And as far as complexity and just everything, and time-wise, the scope of it is big, in my opinion. And, I mean, I try to judge. I'm 40 now. So I wanted to build a car. I didn't want to build like a car that I would be, just like a passing fancy. Nothing like that.
Right.
So this is a car, a V8 powered Miata. It's been on my mind, and if you've seen the video, it's been on my mind since high school. And that is the truth. You'll see in the video, the car and driver, the actual car and driver that my buddies and I were checking out in homeroom that had the Monster Miata article in it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so you'll see that in the video if you haven't seen it yet. And it was from that point till now that I have not stopped thinking about a V8 powered Miata all these years. And it's not the sort of thing that was in my mind every single day, but it just kept coming back and back and back, you know. And you know how that is. I mean, to me, all these years not being able to stop thinking about it and plotting and scheming, it was a sign. So this whole process started like officially last spring. So
wow.
So I've somehow managed to keep my mouth shut on this thing for all this time. But when it was at the peak was at the shootout.
Oh yeah.
Because I had been planning, you know, shortly, I don't know, maybe a month or two before the shootout, I was in full planning mode for this thing, you know, getting my, you know, planning it out in spreadsheets and all the parts I would be using and the plan and timelines and all that stuff.
Right.
And so, you know, when I was at the shootout, I mean, I was just dying to tell somebody. And I told you, Joe, and so you heard all about it, but I didn't tell anybody else, I don't think. I might have hinted around to a few folks. But so keeping this under my hat wasn't easy. I like to talk and I like to share what I'm working on. So, but during that trip to the shootout, I took a little detour on the way up there, and you might have seen the video where I stopped off at Summit Racing.
Yep, I remember that.
Yep, and if you've seen the video, you know Summit Racing is a big part of this build, and we've partnered up on it. I mean, they're promoting the build on their site and a whole bunch of other things that you'll see coming up. It's pretty exciting for me personally. But so I took a little detour on the way up to the shootout, visited with the folks at Summit Racing. It was so awesome, Joe. And,
I bet.
And you know, I got to show off. I mean, I got to go to the actual showroom, which is always fun, and I picked up a few things. But the best part was getting to meet some of the people behind Summit Racing as a company.
Right, yeah, that's really cool. I assume their marketing team, they have an internet marketing team or something like that?
Yeah, marketing folks. I got to meet with, you know, like their head PR person who's a gearhead going way back. I mean,
right.
And just has contacts all over the world in the auto industry, knows everybody, has seen it all. I mean, just I don't know. I got, you know, I'm still excited just talking about it. I can't even spit the words out, but it was such a cool experience. They're all really good people. The craziest part is I was in the Summit showroom and kind of walking around taking video and pictures, and people recognized me.
Wow, that's awesome.
I know. There were people, Summit workers, you know, who worked in the, you know, in the warehouse or whatever. Hey, Tom, you know, watch your videos and this and that. And I mean, like 4 or 5 people recognized me there, and it was just crazy. So the whole trip was just unbelievable, and this experience with going to Summit, meeting with them. But so anyway, we're partnered up with Summit. Really excited about that, obviously, and so if you've seen the video, we're doing a full-on drivetrain conversion, front to back, LS3 in the front, T56 Magnum there in the middle, Getrag rear end. I've got a lot more detail coming in future videos, but I'm going to take you through the whole entire process, end to end. And I don't know, I'm pretty darn excited, Joe.
Yeah, so cool, Tom. And like you said, I did get a sneak preview when I was up your way visiting recently, and just to see that big glorious V8 sitting there on the stand, and the work that you've already done to the chassis to shoehorn that thing in there, man, you're doing a great job. It looks amazing. Well, thank you, sir. And you know, the best part to me is, I told my wife this the other day. I said, not only do I get to build a cool car, which is my dream. This is my dream car I'm building. I get to share it with everybody. It's the best part. I mean, I just feel extremely lucky to be able to do so. So I hope you all enjoy it. And I hope the topics in the videos, you know, you don't have to be building. My goal with the build is
I don't care what you're building. Hopefully the things you see in the video will help you, give you ideas, no matter what project you're taking on. If it's just a small thing or doing some sort of engine swap of your own in some other type of car, hopefully the topics in the videos will apply to all those things, all of you. So that's my goal with the series, and I really hope you enjoy it.
Oh yeah, Tom. Everybody's going to be excited to see the way you methodically go through everything. You're gonna. I know how you're gonna do this in stages. The way you do your videos, it's going to be really fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Well, it's definitely challenging me. I mean, there's a whole bunch of new skills that I need to learn, and that's the great thing about the automotive community. Searching on YouTube or on forums, just learning new things. It's I don't know. It's really rejuvenated the car hobby for me in lots of different ways. I think anytime you challenge yourself and step outside of your comfort zone, it'll do that for you. So,
yeah, very cool. And I'm glad that you did mention in a previous episode of the Tom and Joe Auto Show, when we were talking about dream cars, you said you're building it.
I am, man.
And this
is it. I'm going for it. So I don't know.
All right, man.
I'll let the video do the rest of the talking if you haven't seen it already, but I'll be putting new videos out every 2 weeks. That's the schedule. So on Friday mornings, every 2 weeks, look for a new Project Thunderbolt video coming at you.
Oh, man, scheduled videos. That's a lot of pressure, Tom.
I know. I'm on the hot seat now, people.
It's going to be great.
Good
luck with it, man.
Thank you. All right, well, after that, I think I need a break, Joe. Let's take
yeah, we should definitely have a break. I could use a third cup of coffee.
Let's take a quick break.
All right, we'll do that.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'd like to invite you to our Tom and Joe Auto Show Facebook page. We've been having some nice activity on there, people commenting and sending us messages, and always appreciate that. Send us ideas for topics or whatever you like. And Joe's been posting our videos. Anytime we talk about a dude, did you see that video? He posted on there. And I especially liked the V8. What was that thing?
I'm not even 100% sure. It's like an old Dodge or a 80s Dodge Charger pickup.
Yeah, that was one we forgot to mention specifically, but you got to check that picture out. That's a wild ride there. Talk about sticking a V8 in something. That was
yeah, there we go.
That couldn't have been easy. And also, just a quick shout out. I've threw up all the Miata stuff on V8Mazda.com. That's a site that I've put up that I'm going to put all the information about the Miata build on there, all the parts I chose, everything, tons of pictures. So, I mean, I've taken thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures during this whole process, and I'll be putting lots and lots of pictures up. So every update will have the video, of course, but a huge photo gallery. That's real. I got this viewer. It's real easy to browse through the pictures. I think you guys will get a kick out of it.
Great. Yeah, definitely get out there and check out V8Mazda.com. That's going to be really cool.
Okay, so let's jump into our next topic here, Joe.
Okay.
I like this one. This one's cool because this technology has come so far, so fast.
It really has. I'm not sure where we should start here, but this topic is car guy smartphone or iPad apps. I feel like the first thing I think of when I hear about these apps is my old G-Tech.
Oh, yes.
That I had in my car back years ago.
Now, hold up. Did you have the, original?
I think I had the G-Tech Pro. It was real small with just a red LED display.
Oh, yes. We had the same thing when I lived up in Pennsylvania. I think a buddy and I went halvesies on it.
Right, okay.
And it wasn't cheap.
No, they weren't cheap.
And we went in halvesies on it. I think we even ordered it from Summit, if I'm not mistaken, back then. And and we tested it on all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
And always hugely disappointed by the results.
Yeah, it was. I liked to think it was wrong.
Oh my gosh, hugely disappointing. But like any drag strip, the first time you go to the drag strip or something. But yeah, so the G-Tech Pro, that interesting. Brought back a lot of memories there.
Yeah, and it's like it was accelerometer based, and to think that I didn't realize immediately when I found out that these modern smartphones have accelerometers in them. It's just a G-Tech in your pocket right off the bat.
Yep, between the GPS and the accelerometer in there, and whatever type of other alien technology that makes them work.
Right.
Yeah.
Something beyond us.
Something that, beyond my understanding. Yeah, it is. It allows all sorts of possibilities. I mean, I knew Dinolicious was the first app, and that came out years ago. That was the first one I saw that I was just amazed.
Okay, yeah.
It was expensive, and I got a gift card, an iTunes card back then, and tried it out.
Right.
And I was really impressed by the interface and just the accuracy of it and everything. I mean, it was just a really cool app, and it worked.
Yeah, you're just initially kind of blown away that your phone can do that. I remember the first one I got was called Pocket Dino.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a free one, actually, and I downloaded it I think it was free, like, on a trial basis or something, and then I kind of got grandfathered in that way where I still get updates to that app. But it was amazing that my phone could do what that old G-Tech could do for free. I was like, this is amazing.
It is. It truly is, and we take it for granted. I mean, now there's a handful of performance testing apps on the App Store. Just a good handful of them. And
yep.
I tell you what I used to do is on my ride to and from work, when Dinolicious first came out, it had like a G meter. So acceleration, braking, handling, it would just sort of had this chart, and the little dot would move around, how many G-forces. So I would see how fast I could go around turns on this old back road and see how far it would keep your peak Gs in any certain direction.
Okay. That's awesome.
So that was my game every day on the ride home or to work, trying to get that G meter past my high score.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a fun game.
Like a maniac.
Oh, boy.
So that was one, Dinolicious. Now, if you folks, some of you may have seen the video I put out about the V-Box Sport, which, on its own, the downside of the performance apps that use GPS is that the GPS antenna, unfortunately, in a smartphone isn't very strong.
Right.
So the V-Box Sport uses this extra box that you put on your windshield that's its own super strong GPS antenna. Therefore, and what the app does is simply sort of like piggyback on that GPS device to give you super accurate acceleration data.
Right, okay.
And the V-Box Sport is pretty cool. I was disappointed that I didn't show that to you while you were here.
Yeah, you should have took me for a test drive with that for sure. In the old minivan.
It would have been a lot. It'd be a lot easier to have somebody else helping you work the thing, because between the thing hanging off your windshield, pushing buttons on it, and the app monkeying with it, it's like you'd need to be an octopus to be able to do it all. So it's a little tricky in that regard that you have two different little boxes, but it's a pretty cool device and extremely, extremely accurate. There's a Harry's lap timer. Had you heard of that one, Joe?
I haven't heard of that one, no.
That's one a lot of like track day people use.
Right, okay.
Because it's like the name implies, lap timer, but it also can use the video feature and video along with the telemetry.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I know it's hugely popular both Android and iPhone. Now, recently, kind of in the past and then recently, I've gotten into some drag racing games.
Oh, yeah, I have too.
CSR Racing is the most popular one I've seen.
Okay, I played that one for a while.
Yeah.
But more recently, I've been playing one that's called Door Slammers.
Door Slammers. I'm so glad you got this because I downloaded Door Slammers a couple weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, I love that one.
Dude, it is weird. It is weird at times. You have to admit.
It
Like,
is.
The quarter mile feels like 3 miles when you go down it.
At least
On the iPad. Did you? Maybe it's decent on the phone. I played it on the iPad and it was weird. But
yeah, I play it on the phone. I have never tried it on the iPad, but
I still like
I don't know,
it.
it's kind of fun.
It
I
is
just
fun.
like that I can do the burnout and it actually means something.
Yep. And there's a Grand National in it.
Yeah, that's what I use all the time is the Grand National.
So, folks, you got to check that out. Door Slammers. I'm so glad you've got that. I thought I was afraid you hadn't heard of that one, but I don't know if there's some kind of multiplayer. I doubt it with Door Slammers. It looks kind of basic, but
yeah, it's not the best graphics. It's not mind blowing or anything like that. But I don't know. I enjoy the burnout. I
do too.
I
like the burnout. I like watching the tree go down.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of that, if the next time you're going to the drag strip, there's a couple free practice trees.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. And they're great. The last few times I went to the track, I haven't been in a while, but the last few times I went, just before I go up, I just use that practice tree a little bit. And when you go up there, you don't have that moment where you're like, oh, God, I haven't seen a tree in 6 months. Like,
right.
Because, that's a sort of terrifying feeling when you roll up there and you haven't staged in a long time and stuff,
Yeah, it is.
Those practice trees are great. They're a lot of fun. And let's see, what else? Just the smartphone in general. I know for me, I'm constantly taking photos to remember where a certain wire goes or...
Yep.
Or, just to jog my memory later on, I can look back at this picture and say, oh, yeah, this went there or this bolted onto that.
Yeah, I definitely do the same thing with mine. It's good to just make a quick note. I use it as a photocopy machine half the time just to snap a picture of a piece of paper.
Yep, I do that too, yeah.
It's like a scanner.
Amazing. Some folks might not know this, but the first at least 25 videos that I put out, the Turbo Garage videos, were all filmed on iPhone.
Yeah, I believe it. I use mine still on my videos occasionally when my regular camera is not handy. Or, to be honest, I actually prefer the color palette, or whatever you call it. The color on my iPhone camera is better than my nice Canon point-and-shoot at S110. It's a good camera, but I prefer the color on the iPhone.
How did they do that?
I don't know.
I totally agree with you.
Because we live in the future.
Yeah, you're right. Feels good. I like the future. So, I mean, I've got a list of so many more. We could just keep going on and on. I think the long and short of it is if you haven't, some of these apps are kind of hard to find. There's not a category in the App Store of like car guy apps. You sort of have to hunt around a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of have to take a suggestion. If someone gives you the name Harry's Lap Timer, you're going to have a lot easier time finding it.
Yeah, they're tricky to find. So, and one more before we jump to the next topic, there are some heads-up display apps. Have you seen these?
No, I haven't.
So you lay the phone on the dash, and it projects like a mirror image of your speed and stuff up on the windshield. Like
right.
A reflection.
Okay. It's just the reflection. Yeah, that's cool.
And they're free, but they're awesome. And the last one I'll mention. Okay, one more. This one is my all-time favorite. Now at the shootout the year before last, I had the van hooked up. I had a speaker in the back, like in the actual, like around where the muffler is. Right. And I had this V8 sound going.
I remember. Yep.
And folks were thinking, it tricked a lot of people. And that app, folks, you got to check it out. There's a free, you get it free and you can try it out pretty much. It's called XLR8.
Nice.
Yeah, and they've got all the different car sounds, and it's based on GPS, so it revs up, shifts gears, everything.
That's really cool.
This is my son's favorite thing in the entire world. But they've got a few different cars, and you can buy some more. But here's the, let's see if I can, yeah. Well, it's fussing at me right now. Anyway, but try that one out, XLR8. I think you'll like it.
I also noticed in our notes here that we have the flashlight.
Oh,
the smartphone flashlight. You can't live without it.
The flashlight is fantastic.
It really is.
I used it coming up to the recording studio here tonight.
There you go. Yeah, I use it every night when I go to bed, so I can make it to my bed without stepping on all my junk that's on my floor.
It's fantastic. Let's see if this. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Picking
nice.
that up.
Yeah. Well, that sounds mean.
Here we go.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So you got to try that one out. XLR8. I know you'll really dig it.
Very cool. All right, Tom. Well, I think we've given enough suggestions here for our smartphone apps and other uses for your smartphone. I think it's time to move on to our recurring segment for today's episode. Dude, did you see that?
My favorite segment of all the segments. Dude, did you see that? I'm queuing up the video here as we speak.
Okay.
Now, this video, I have a little description. The title of the video is GM 216 straight 6 blowing up and catching on fire. You know, there's nothing better than a video title that just tells you exactly what you're going to see.
Yeah, this is good. It's right to the point. I know what I'm expecting.
This thing, inline 6.
Oh, boy.
Just billowing smoke. Dude in the back's drinking a beer or something, watching this.
Yeah, I like the guy in the background. That's great.
Uh-oh, here it goes. Oh, no. There are parts. Yeah. There are like red-hot parts shooting off of it.
The thing is engulfed in flames, smoke pouring out of it.
Fire. Oh, it's just, the fire is everywhere now. So my favorite,
oh, boy.
yeah. So the description says the engine had not run for a number of years and was scrapyard bound. So after sanding down the points and giving it some fuel, it ran wide open for about 10 to 12 minutes before it threw some rods. The oil caught on fire and ran out of fuel.
Oh, it was marvelous. It was glorious.
It was when that fire shoots out. So that's what's funny about this. I mean, these guys, they sort of, the way they filmed it and everything is sort of like they got the perfect camera angle and everything. I don't know how they did. Like they used a tripod. They did a fine job on this, if I must say.
It's a good angle, and like I said, you got that guy standing off in the background just watching. It really gives you the effect of how much those guys care about that engine.
Now you can tell these guys are pros because he's a good ways back.
Yeah, he's smart. He's not all up in that thing, taking a look at it. He's got a safe distance. He's
good way. This guy's this isn't his first rodeo. His engine blowing up rodeo. I told you I think that my uncle used to do this.
Yeah, you did. That's great.
And he had a towing service, pretty successful towing service, and he also had like a little junkyard that he, at his shop. And from time to time, he would get a wild hair, grab a cinder block, jam it against the gas pedal, and blow up a car.
Did he keep a safe distance like that?
He'd take a few steps back. It was in the car, so I guess that was a measure of protection in his mind,
Yeah, that is different than this video. In this video, the engine's just sitting on, I guess, the remains of the frame of that vehicle, or I don't know if that's a stand that they fashioned for this purpose.
I know, it's hard to tell. It looks like just a bare bones frame or something, yeah.
Yeah. And I was telling you, Tom, when we talked about this video, what kills me is how upset people get in the comments about why did you guys waste this perfectly good engine?
This old inline 6. Well, here's the top comment right now is, it's only GM garbage, no loss. Ha 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 ha. That's my man Greg on YouTube.
All right.
Yeah, man, you suck. What a bleeping idiot. That engine had a whole lot of life left in it.
It had 10 to 12 minutes.
10 to 12 minutes. Like. Oh, people are mad. Wow. They don't make them like that anymore. And then here's this guy. I like this guy. This is my man right here. This is one of the best engine blow videos on YouTube.
I totally agree.
Out of the universe of engine blow videos, this one's way up there. All right, Joe.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good video. And we'll get the link to that posted up on our Facebook so that you guys can check that video out for yourselves.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. Well, moving on to our next and final topic here on episode number 9 of the Tom and Joe Auto Show. We have a listener question brought to us from YouTube user Zach Kelly. Zach asks, what are your thoughts on the GTR R35 and Dave adding it to the shootout? Now, Dave, for people who don't know, is Mr. Dave Busher. He hosts the shootout, formerly the DSM shootout. And what Zach is getting at here is that the DSM shootout has sort of expanded from the DSM shootout to the DSM Evo shootout, and now the DSM Evo GTR, let's just call it the shootout.
Yes, and I think what some folks don't remember is there have been vehicles over the years that have been invited to the shootout.
Yep, that's true.
WRXs were invited.
Right.
It started to become the Evo DSM WRX shootout.
That's true.
And there may have even been another. It's escaping me right now. But anywho, I mean, I think it's, I guess I can't blame him for. Okay, as a spectator, I loved seeing them run.
Yeah, sure.
And have great respect for what people are doing with them.
Yeah. Oh, they're amazing cars, and they're definitely fun to watch.
Now, personally, if the first part of the question is what are you guys' thoughts on the R35, my thoughts, I mean, I've checked them out. I've driven one. It's not for me. Like, and I think I've talked to you about this, Joe. When I moved up here, my taste in cars changed. Down in Florida, it was all long, straight stretches, those long boulevards and everything. I moved up here. Everything's tight, twisty mountain roads up here, like super tight.
Yeah.
And this car, to me, just felt like a tank.
Yeah,
like,
it's a big, heavy car for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't see out of it. Like, I mean, it was just like a giant car. I mean, they're over 3,800 pounds. And they're just big all around. So it just, for the driving I do and what the driving I enjoy around here and what I would use a sports car for, it just didn't work for me in that regard,
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I think that they're great cars with great potential. Even though they are big and heavy, they still do handle quite well. But there's a difference between the numbers and the feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it just felt like ungangly from behind the seat as far as switching through these mountain roads. It was I don't know. And I guess if you had less regard for the car. Like maybe many years from now you pick one up for $7,000 or $8,000, and I wouldn't feel so bad throwing it through the mountains like a maniac,
Yeah, you just pick it up, you clean it up a little bit, get the Home Depot dryer duct out from underneath the hood, do something nicer.
Yeah, is it the future DSM, Joe?
Well, it kind of seems that way.
You pick one up with a bad transmission or something,
Yep. A timing belt or chain or whatever that thing has on it.
Future DSM possibility. Very, I don't know, maybe, but I don't know what the production's like. I mean, it seems like they're making plenty of them.
Yeah, I see them around quite a bit for a car that's kind of considered a supercar,
Yeah, I see them around here. So the second part of that question is, what about Dave Busher adding them to the shootout?
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of, when you said it could be the DSM car of the future, well, DSMers kind of evolved to be Evo owners. And a good portion of those people have gone on to become GTR owners, which is pretty interesting. Those are old school DSM guys who I like to see at the shootout for sure. So I kind of like having them there for that reason. My personal opinion is, I just like the DSM shootout to be the DSM shootout. You know what I mean? But I understand from Dave's perspective, he's trying to sell parts, and he sells parts for DSMs and for Evos and for GTRs now. And like you said, there were WRXs at one point. I think the other car was the Focus ST because he was making parts for that at one point as well.
Or the SRT4.
I think that was another
also.
one.
So it's definitely, it's his sandbox, and his event for sure. And if I were him doing it all these years, I'd probably want to see some new stuff I would want to showcase what I was doing right then, but
Yeah, definitely.
but it is fun to see like John Shepard, flying down the quarter mile in his. And I had a special moment with John, not last year's shootout, but the year before. I went up to talk to him about his car. There was no one around him. So I said, well, here's my chance, people. And I went up to John, and he actually knew me. I guess, I've got a transmission or two off of him or something, and the videos or whatever. But unfortunately, I'd had some suntan lotion that had run down into my eyes.
Oh boy!
And my eyes were just pouring with water, and so I'm walking up to him, and I'm trying to wipe my eyes. I'm like, my freaking eyes won't stop pouring with, like I'm crying, and so we had this moment where I'm just like tears are streaming down my face, and
oh boy.
Yeah, and he noticed and commented on it. So
that's awkward.
Yeah, it sort of cut the conversation short, frankly.
Oh boy, but yeah, he's one of the guys I'm talking about. Old school DSMer, big, maybe the biggest name in DSMs with his 7-second all-wheel drive that is known worldwide at this point. But now he's driving GTRs, and if that gets him out to the shootout, then we're happy to have him there for sure.
Well, it didn't stop me from telling him how much I loved his in-car 7-second DSM video while I was crying.
Yeah, that is a great video. There's a note on his dashboard, correct?
Yeah, about pulling the chute, clutch in when you pull the chute or something.
Yeah, some kind of bad word or...
Yeah, because if he's talked about that. He might have even told me that or I heard him telling somebody else that if he pulled the chute without pushing the clutch in, it would over-rev the motor or something.
Okay.
Yeah, some kind of deal like that.
Yeah, there's some kind of voodoo that you have to do when you pull a chute. Some people say you got to stay in it till the chute pulls real good. And
wow.
I don't know. I guess I'm going to learn.
You're going to have a chute, Joe.
I know it. I hope I can use it.
I'll never have a car with a parachute. I'm just, I can tell I won't.
No, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
You're putting a V8 in a Miata.
Yeah, there's no parachute for that. You just jump out if you get in trouble.
Oh,
bail
boy.
out, dude. Bail out.
Yeah. Eject.
Yeah, you need an ejector seat. Oh, man.
Oh, that's cool, though. But, yeah, I think, like I said, if I could have my way, I would just have it be the DSM shootout. But I get it. It's Dave's deal. He needs to stay in business so that we can keep having shootouts, and they are fun to watch. So
yeah,
I guess overall I'm all right with having the GTRs there.
Yeah. Well, I think that ding is, I think that signifies the end of episode number 9. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, that was the egg timer to end episode 9 for sure.
We're done. Stick a fork in it, homie. All right. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for listening very much. We always appreciate it. And thank you, Joe. Good talking to you as always.
Yeah, good talking to you, Tom. And definitely get out to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. Leave us some comments. Leave us some questions. We love to interact with you guys. So thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.
All right. See you, Joe.